Hey, hi. Yeah, today I just want to continue a bit further about the Fed's warning, like say the mum's warning on three things. Tightening monetary policies, and number two is increase interest rates at a more rapid pace, and then the third one is to increase interest rates not at 0.25, maybe at 50 basis point or even 1% at one go. Then after that, do the slow increase. Before we look into that, right, we need to know what is the purpose of doing these three things. Yes, it's to actually avoid price of things from continuously to go rocket upwards. Um, and then we need to further analyze as to why all these prices in US are spiraling up. Okay, definitely one of the reason is the stimulus that was happening way back in 2020 and 2021, the spillover. People are spending their excess cash, or they earn money from the stock market, or they earn money from crypto. There are all these things that, or they had some windfall. There are so many crypto millionaires, then they bring up the price of goods. I think Fed is not worried about the Lamborghini prices increase or the Porsche Taycan price increase. They are more concerned about taming the price of important things like your gas, your petrol, your uh, things like your wheat, your flour, everything, the things that you eat, the transportation costs. They will want to tame that down as well, logistic prices. So we all have to understand that this is in a non, let's say we are not talking about 2020 and 20 to now. We talk about previous situation on how Fed came out and tightened monetary policy rapidly or increase rates many times in a short period of time. It's because there was very strong employment, nothing to do with COVID. Let's just go into 10 years back or 20 years back, getting bonuses, and that time there was no crypto, and there were maybe some earn money from sale of properties or sale of shares, and they keep spending, they keep consuming. And then of course, chicken prices will increase by 10%, hog prices will increase by 10%, iPhone will increase by 2%, and all that. Yeah, it's because of tremendous. All the kids are just continuously buying, So basically, but in this kind of scenario, right? Yes, we have high job employment, but as I mentioned earlier in my earlier episodes, right, spiraling wages hasn't really happened. In fact, it has gone down to normalized level. 0.2, 0.1% increase month to month is super reasonable. It's actually very reasonable to have around 1.5 to 2% salary wages increase per annum basis. So this is not something like, let's say you're a kid and you don't buy anything, or you buy very little things. You'll be very frugal and savvy in your spending, but then the prices of the world on many things are still up. So there's nothing you can do. You're not taking loans, or you're not like maxing out your credit cards, but just the pricing of things are just up. That's because of the Ukraine war and all that. So it doesn't make sense, strategic sense or tactical sense for the Fed to increase interest rates to make it even harder for you to buy something, because you're not actually excessive spender anyway, right? So something to take note. Um, so there's another thing is the fear of price going continuously going up. That's what happening in Russia. People are rushing to shopping malls to stockpile this, stockpile that. Even they need only one per month, they buy 20. They also can increase inflation, but none of us are doing that in US. Everybody is so chill and so relaxed. They just buy enough. Grocers are 24/7 open. So I don't see things are really having a tough time right now. And then, of course, you took look at the logistic price and the container prices. Uh, yeah, this is something that I think the government need to do something as well, Biden, not just the Fed. And I think people's spending habits shifting to services will help as well, or to ease all those container congestions. And I think Shanghai shutdown also helps because if you keep want to buy on things online, right, then you get to wait like 2 3 months. You're like, I'll give up on the spending. And I think generally, US also wants their factories to have lower raw material prices, which I think they removed the tariff in China, and so China exports so that they can produce things in a more cost-effective manner. This is something which is different from consumer. So that you got the consumer inflation, you got the manufacturing inflation. Manufacturing inflation, I think Fed wants to do something that's the other way around. They want to make it reasonable for them to produce things, not squeeze their or or to avoid them from raising prices to transfer them to consumer. So manufacturing inflation, I think, is something that the government and the Fed are doing as well. And if you look at it, right, also if they were the Fed were to increase the inflation, tighten policy, and which means that make raw materials even more expensive, wouldn't make sense to the manufacturer inflation to tame the manufacturing inflation because what they need to do is to end the war to reduce the manufacturing inflation from going up. So, and I think crypto craze that happened the last 2 years also helped to reduce inflation because people go to crypto sites and gamble and get burned instead of how to say spend it on actual durable and non-durable goods. So yeah, so and I think if you look at big ticket items like houses and all that, right? People have also have American have the interest rates, as you know, the mortgage rate has increased to about 4 to 5% now, and then the construction materials are high. Prices of properties in US are at all-time high, and there's a shortage in the supply of the market. And I think, yeah, maybe this one it's very similar to the manufacturing inflation that they need to reduce, which is the shipping costs and the raw materials, which I think if they were to raise interest rates, it will become counterproductive. It can become, it will jam the entire um, manufacturing inflation until there's no people buying. So take note of this. Thank you very much.